Hello everyone, we're here with, I guess, my final thoughts video on the Fata Morgana franchise. Specifically Requiem for Innocence, but also just gonna be talking about the first game as well a little bit. I've delayed this video more than I should have. I finished everything except the backstage and fragment back in like October, maybe even September, and I just kind of delayed it. For reference, today's January 9th. I imagine this will be up in about a week since I uploaded the 30th one, like yesterday, I think. There's 33 total. And yeah, I didn't talk about my thoughts on Requiem for Innocence at the end of Fragment. Or maybe I did a little, I forget. That was like a month or two ago now. And that's for this video. I don't really know if there's enough to warrant an entire video's worth, but I think I can get like at least 20 minutes worth of conversation in, so I'd say that's good enough. I usually do this at the end of the video, but you know, to follow suit with the original Fata Morgana, I'm doing the same thing here. Anyway, yeah, Requiem for Innocence, I loved it. I've said that multiple times, but I've also said I don't like it as much as the original. I still feel that way. Hold on, let's get different music here. I love this song, but I can't listen to this the whole time. It'll make me sad. Concert hall. Something cheerful? Maybe it's a bit too cheerful, but I mean, I'm gonna be talking about part 1 first. Luckily, back when I finished Fata Morgana, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna wait a couple months, like last time, aren't I? So I made a TXT about things to talk about. So, I'm just gonna go through everything in a chronological order. So, my biggest problem with Requiem for Innocence would be part 1. It's not quite the first half, I think. It's a little less than half of the main story of Requiem for Innocence, I think. Don't quote me on that. Well, if you... no. Didn't it last until episode 15? But no, just don't worry about that. It's about more or less half. And it's probably the reason well, that's not true. I was gonna say it's the reason I consider Requiem for Innocence to not be as good as the original Fata Morgana, but I don't agree with that. Like, even the original game had its pacing issues, but I feel like here was too much of the wrong thing, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, on one hand, I feel like they spent way too much time just dilly-dallying with slice of life, but on the other hand, like, I feel like there weren't enough impactful scenes in there. Like, the only scene between Jacopo and Morgana I really remember from part 1 is him carrying her on her back after, I guess you call it her breakdown at her argument with Jiran. That's a bit hazy, but I need to change that. It's too cheery. Let's play the March of Time. I like that one. And yeah, like, they could have easily cut out a few hours of it, and I don't think we would have missed much. On the other hand, if they added, like, I don't know how they could have added, like, slice of life scenes that I wouldn't complain about, but I feel like there could have been more. It's completely contradictory. I think there should be less, but I also think there should be more. But I just don't like the way they handled it too much. Like, I don't dislike part 1. Like, I still like it. I love Fata Morgana. I love everything in it. But it definitely weighed down on the superior rest of the game. Like, I'd give part 1 like a 7 out of 10. Maybe a 6, which that's 5 being average. Like, I still think it's good. Just, you know, part 2 is like 9, maybe even 10 out of 10. And, you know, just, yeah. Oh my god, that across, right? Hold on. This isn't in chronological order, so I have to look. Okay, Jiran in the interlude. I really liked it. I've already said that. I don't have too much to add about that, other than it took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to like Jiran by the end of this, and I was like, okay, I finished part 1, Jiran's dead. You cannot trick me into liking her, and then they tricked me into liking her. Which is pretty accurate, actually. Lord Barnier got some screen time there, too, which made him not just a one-dimensional villain. I wouldn't call him a great villain by any means, but it gave him the character development. Well, character depth, I guess. To not just be, you know, oh, I'm evil guy, that's gonna be Jacopo's ghost. Lord of the Land. Yeah, which completely unexpected, but I still don't like Barnier. I don't make like I don't think he's a bad character, but I don't think he's necessarily a good one either. They just waited too long, I think. If they showed more of him in part 1, but again, like how would they? But anyway, talked about that enough. Hold on, I'm going into things chronologically here. I have Gradian. I forget how to say his name correctly. I have semicolon underscore semicolon. It got me. Like I saw that more or less coming. I wasn't expecting them to make him out to be the villain, like the bad guy though. I was expecting that to happen after Yakupo turned evil, not to be the thing that kind of turns him evil. Well, yeah, you can call Yakupo evil. And it got me. I hate it. I think they handled it well enough. Something about Gradian just lusting for power. I kind of dislike that a little. Like, not to the point where I'd call it like a grievance. I don't know why I use the word grievance there, but I would have liked it more if they, I don't know, added a little more depth to it, I guess. But still, it falls into a Requiem for Innocence thematically, just like, power, I guess, corruption. I have that written here. And I mean, it even says that in the backstage, doesn't it? Which is kind of a stereotypical theme. I'm not really that big a fan of it, but I think they handled it well enough here. And right below that, I have Odalin Best Boy. I just gotta call that out. Odalin is the best character, except for Michelle, Giselle, and Mel. He's number 4 on the list. Anyway, so anyway, there's 2 more parts. Well, sections of part 2, I guess, that I want to talk about. There's Yakupo transitioning into Barnier, which I liked how they handled it. Like, I feel like there's a bit of a sudden transition between after Yakupo, like, killing the people who throw the stones at Odin, like his old friends, and him just being completely, like, insane. I would have liked it if there's, like, a scene in between that to kind of bridge the gap a little. Because it felt a bit sudden. I mean, yeah, his former best friend just tried to kill him, and his current best friend just died by his old friends, but still, I would have liked just like a short, like 10-15 minute scene kind of in between that. Because I think there's a time skip after that, if I remember correctly. Yeah, anyway, I still think they did a pretty dang good job with Yakupo's transformation, but it was still a bit sudden, like I said. Anyway, last thing with under the Requiem for Innocence flowchart. Flowchart is another right word. Just section. It's Morgana's whole chapter, I guess you could call it. And other than part 1, again, that one had pacing issues, just because, specifically because the house in Fata Morgana exists. If you wanted to Requiem for Innocence blind, which I mentioned this before, but that's interesting. I'm curious if anyone did that and what they thought of Requiem for Innocence, and then the house in Fata Morgana afterwards. Like, I wouldn't suggest doing that, but I'm sure people have done it. Because it's not like it says the house in Fata Morgana 2 on it. And anyway, it kind of stopped it just because there's very little new information. Like, the first 20 minutes of it was new, and then the rest with, you know, Mel and Yukimasa was all kind of repeated information with nothing really substantial added to it. Which, maybe part of it is just because by the time I got to Morgana section, I was already kind of tired from having read like 2 hours past. Because remember, I read all of part 2 in one night. So maybe that, you know, kind of changed my outlook on that a little. But I can't really say. I still think that's true. And anyway, you got some stuff to talk about with the side stories, I guess. Let's change the song to... Where is it? Acento Deli. I don't know. What would I consider the highlight of Requiem for Innocence to be? Like, part 2? Like, you know, the Requiem for Innocence or Ascento Deli? I'd have to give it to Requiem for Innocence. Like, I think Ascento Deli was great when I was reading it the first time. But looking back on it, I don't... Like, I still like it, I just don't like it as much, I guess. Like, it felt... Thinking of the right word here, like, slow, I guess? Which, like, is kind of the point. It's a return to that kind of just dark, mysterious atmosphere that the first game had. But, I don't know. I liked, what, Imion? That was their name? As a character, and it's kind of a shame we didn't get to see more of them. Because, I mean, we see her in the backstage, sure, but that doesn't count. Like, I really like, in the backstage they mention how there are like 2 throwaway lines in the main game referencing her, because Ascento Deli was apparently written sometime before Fata Morgana? I forget what the backstage said about it. But, which, let them foreshadow it. Well, I wouldn't even call it foreshadowing. Like, there's one line Michelle saying a friend, instead of like, you know, oh, Giselle taught me this. Which, I want to take that as foreshadowing, but, and there's another line during Door 5 sometime, I forget what it was. Yeah, I think that's just really neat when, you know, later on you read something that's like, oh, hey, that's the original made a call forward to it. Which I obviously Ascento Deli was in first, so it's not like they actually did that, but still. It was neat. There's one thing, I haven't gone back and looked at the Ascento Deli footage. Well, I've looked back at some of it, but not all of it. Like, I've already uploaded it. But at one point, Amion mentions Pandora. And I had no idea what that was referring to. So, Pandora is the name of, like, a Greek goddess, I believe? I think she's Greek. But I don't know who she is. She's not in Fate, so I'm not familiar with that mythology. That's how I know all of my mythology. Was that just supposed to be, like, a member of Imion's family? Was Imion just a French... It's in France, right? Like, nobody would be, like, worshipping Greek gods then, but were they just referencing it, or... I don't know. Someone explain that to me. Spoon feed me, please. Anyway, there's 3 tales of wasted away into obscurity. The Nelly / Arthur / Mel, I guess one, was a nice conclusion to Door 1, because we never got that. Door 1 just ended with Mel getting, well, the white-haired girl breaking up with Mel, and him standing in the rain. Which, that's kind of where you have to end it, to keep the mystery of Fata Morgana alive, and they never got the chance to really go back and show the aftermath, which this kind of did. So it's a nice epilogue to Door 1, I guess. The second tale is a nice expansion of Yukimasa's character, I guess. I don't think it was really necessary, but still, it's like a 20-minute add-on in the fan disc. Doesn't hurt to add. It's still Yukimasa getting more character growth isn't the right word. I guess it's just depth again. Is nice. Like, just seeing what he was like before he got his amnesia was neat. Just him being a serial killer. He killed the prostitute, right? It's been a while. And then finally there's the George's one, the best one. He kills Amy. Well, it's implied he kills Amy. And Amy kills him, but it also gave George's the character development he needed. Because he didn't really get it in the main game. Like, Didier got his. He got his little moment, but George's never really got his aside from throwing himself at Didier. Like, he got his moment, but not his growth, I guess. So, seeing him come to terms with what he did to Michelle was really pleasant. I like that. And I also like the part where he poisons Amy. That was also nice. And the last thing, obviously, hold on, I can't play Giselle. That's too much. Urban Evasion? What is this from? What's this? Okay. Give me the original series. No. Come on, Hex. everybody's crying, cheap but it glows me. What does that mean? Not very appropriate song for this, but anyway, Happily Ever After is amazing. It was blatant fan service, but of the good kind. Like, just seeing an aftermath to Fata Morgana made my day. Because I dislike vague endings. Like, I've seen enough of them in visual novels where I kind of grown to dislike them. Like, I want to call this a spoiler, because I'm being very vague about it. Like, Steins Gate and Rewrite both have pretty vague endings in a similar manner to Fata Morgana. If you've played either of those games and know the ending, you know what I mean. Like, going further into it probably wasn't necessary. Arguably with Rewrite. I think Rewrite could have used a couple more minutes. But like Steins Gate, that was like the perfect place to call it. You don't need to show more than that. But at the same time, I as the reader would like to see like more of that. Like, just cut forward a couple months, show us a 3-minute scene, call it there. I'll be incredibly happier. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about Requiem for Innocence. Like, thematically, I already talked about this a little, but like, it was about, power in the loosest term, I guess. And that theme just doesn't resonate with me. It's just so common. I think Requiem for Innocence did pretty good spin on it. Like, going mad with powers isn't a new trope by any means, but the protagonist doing it also isn't very new. But just the way Requiem for Innocence handled it, like knowing it's gonna happen in advance, being able to, is it even foreshadowing at that point? I don't know. And then just seeing Jacopo break down just had a special, there's a word for it. It was nice in a not nice way. Yeah, so that's about all I have to say for Requiem for Innocence. Oh, no, I forgot something. Hold on. We'll play the song. A Fragment. At first, I didn't like it. And then when I understood what was happening, I liked it. And now, in retrospect, I really like it. If you haven't already, I got linked to this from, I was looking into Steam forums, right? And someone linked it. Apparently, on the novectacle website, they released Morgana's side to Fragment, and someone translated it into English. If I remember, I'll leave a link to their blog or wherever they posted it. I read it. I didn't like record it or anything, and it made me like Fragment a lot more. Like, seeing Morgana's side of the story. Well, I guess story, just her perspective of it. It took it from like an 8 to a 10. I love how they handled it, and I highly recommend, if you haven't, go read that. Unless it's just like fan fiction, in which case you should still read it because it's good. But I don't think it is. Like, the blog said it's official, so unless they're lying to me, it's official. And yeah, that's for real done with Requiem for Innocence. Honestly, I don't want this franchise to be over. I've been reading Fata Morgana, not counting the one episode I did in 2017, since April of 2018. And now I have to officially say it's over. Because when I finished the original Fata Morgana, or Requiem for Innocence had just come out. So it's like, oh, I can extend my stay by a little bit. Well, not Hex. Do they have the House of Fata Morgana in here? That's a good song to end it to. Doesn't look like it. I don't know a lot of these songs by name. Let's say audio. This is a Door 3 song, isn't it? Girlhood in Shambles. The name makes it seem like a Door 7 song, but I'm not sure. Close My World. Oh, you know what? Serie di Fragmento Original. This is a good one. And yeah, so I've been doing this for almost a year now. If you count the one episode in 2017, it's been over a year. And it kind of hurts to say goodbye. So, we're getting something Fata Morgana related. It's like they're porting the complete game onto the PS4 and Vita. It's like physical copy only, so it's kind of weird. Like it's limited run games, I think is doing it. It's supposed to be Q1 2019, so next couple months we'll be seeing that. I plan on buying it for my Vita, but I'll be waiting to, see if I can legally capture it from my Vita, wink wink. Like I'll have a physical copy, I'll own the game. Just, if someone decides to port it to... You get what I'm putting down. Right, I'll wink wink. I love that kind of joke. Yeah, so I'll see if I can record it. I'll wait a month or two before reading it. And because I'd like to do more Fata Morgana. I don't think it's going to be anything like too big. Like, I know all of it's like anime style, which I have mixed feelings about. Like, I'm fine with anime style stuff. Like, I read visual novels. Have you seen me? But also, like, Fata Morgana's art style really, like, all of Fata Morgana's presentation is part of what made it so great. Like, apart from the really good writing, like what do you call it? Gothic art, the vocals, the vocal music, I guess, and what's the third thing? Like art, music, and there's a third thing. I get like, the photorealistic backgrounds I think they help. Like, I'm not a fan of visual novels with the photorealistic like backgrounds. Like, I mean, Umineko does it, so I'm taking a jab at Umineko here too. I prefer like drawn backgrounds, or I don't know. I think Fata Morganas are a lot better than Umineko's. Like they got the atmosphere across better. I think Umineko's are just a bit. Like, just compare the two. If you played both, I think maybe you'll understand. I vastly prefer Fata Morgana's backgrounds. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. Like, I don't know. Like, part of me just wants to drag this on for another hour to talk about Fata Morgana, but I think it's best that I don't do that. Because most of it will just be me rambling. Me jumping from place to place. So, yeah, I'd like to thank everyone who's watched my Fata Morgana series so far. Either my original or Requiem for Innocence. And especially those of you who have left comments. I've gotten plenty of comments, more in the original series than Requiem, but I think that's just because of how Requiem is. It's not like mystery oriented like the original is, which, encourages conversation. But I'd especially like to thank you who left comments. I really enjoy reading and replying to comments, so thank you. And yeah, that's it. Moving forward, what am I going to be doing next? I think I'm going to be reading... I think. I'm planning to read it like 10 minutes after I finish this. Higanbana. It's by Yukishio7. Kind of has like a dark tone. I read some of it. I think it was right before or after I originally recorded that one episode of Fata Morgana back in 2017. I recorded like 5 episodes of it, but just kind of stopped because... I think it was because Doki Doki Literature Club came out. And I got distracted with that. Because I was one of the first people to do that on YouTube. Which I got 25,000 views out of that. So, I'm a kind of a big deal. I'm starting to ramble, oh no. I gotta wrap this up fast. So, yeah, again, thank you for everyone who's watched this series. I've loved doing it. I've loved reading Fata Morgana, and I've loved recording it. Because it just kind of suits me. And I want another piece of media like Fata Morgana. Because I don't know any. Like, Umineko's the closest thing there is, and there's nothing like Umineko. Like, they're distinct from themselves, very distinct from themselves. And when that's the closest thing there is, it's not very good. So if any of you have any recommendations of anything like Fata Morgana, please let me know. I don't know if it's something I can record or not, but still, I'd like to read a story like Fata Morgana again. Or experience the story, I guess I could say, because that applies to like TV shows, movies, and stuff too. Like, if you guys know any media like Fata Morgana, let me know. And yeah, I guess that's it. If you guys decide to watch any of my other series, I'll see you guys around. And if you don't, I understand. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, Bye. Hey guys, I just realized, the ending I did, I completely missed out on something. It's a bit cheesy, but this is how I'm going to choose to end it. Farewell, everyone, until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. Like I said, pretty cheesy, huh? Thanks for watching, everyone.